Welcome to Dice Doodles, the show where I am a slave to my dice and do exactly as they say, at least in regards to character design. The dice tell us what to draw based on my dice doodle map, and then we design a character in Procreate and I animate it in Moho Pro animation software. This is part 3 of the Alien Slow Loris, where we will rig and animate the drawing we made in the last 2 episodes. In the last 2 episodes, the dice commanded us to draw an alien slow loris using 2 rounded triangles, and we obeyed. We then brought our character drawing into Moho Pro and recreated it in layers and layer groups. Now we will give it bones and make it come to life. If you want to do your own dice doodles, you can download my dice doodle map for free from the link in the comments. Have a whack at it and tag me when you post it. I'm at animation.bakery everywhere, or you could tag me on my personal account at Jeff Baker Draws. The first thing I'm going to do to start this process is to select all the layer groups, right-click the Layers panel, and select Group with Selection. Then I'm going to name this new master layer Alien Slow Loris because that's what it is. Then right-click it and select Convert to Bone. Now I will hit the A key to activate the Add Bones tool shortcut, and I will start drawing out the rig. I start with a root bone. That will be the master control bone. Where it goes, the other bones must follow. Next, I will draw out the spine. I'm leaving a little bit of a gap where the Joey is so I can give him his own bone later on. You can overlap bones, but it does get confusing. Normally, as I'm laying out the bones, I like to go through and rename them as I go, just so that it's easier if you need to create smart bone actions or Vitruvian bones later on, but I completely forgot to do it here. I'm going to use the bone dynamics feature on the antenna and the bone controlling the Joey so that they wobble independently of the rest of the rig. To do this, I'm going to hit B to activate my select bone tool. I'm going to click the bone I want to use, go to the bone constraints menu, add a bone constraint. In this case, I did -25 and 25. And then under bone dynamics, I'm going to check the angle box. Now that I have a skeleton laid out, I'm going to go through each individual layer and connect them to the specific bones I want them to be controlled by. There is a function called bind layer that will let you link entire layer groups to a specific bone. And there's also bind points, which will allow you to bind specific vectors to specific bones. But this way is a little faster than bind points, and while it's a little bit longer than bind layer, doing it with each individual bone will activate the line boil effect that I want. So I'm just going to go layer by layer, using the lasso select to select the bones I want to affect each layer, and then clicking Link Bones. So we're going to give the rig a little test, and while it's a bit awkward, it will work for our purposes. The design of the creature isn't super conducive to an animation rig. If I was going to use her in an animation, I would have this be the middle rig and then create a 3/4 angle rig that she could transition into, but this will work fine for today. Now that she's all rigged up, it's time to animate. We're going to do a little side shuffle variation on a walk cycle. So the first step is to establish where our ground is. To do this, I'm going to create a new vector layer outside of the bone layer of our character and use the Create Shape tool to create a rectangle under her feet to use as a reference for the ground. I'm going to position her feet in a wide stride. We're going to have to treat this almost like the dance move, the grapevine. From this position, her left leg, technically her right leg, but left to us, is going to lift up and come and join her right leg in the middle. Then the right leg is going to lift up and step away from the left leg. We are going to skip ahead to the 1 second mark, frame 12 in my case, but your FPS might be different, and position the feet together in the middle. Then at the 2 second mark, frame 24 for me, we are going to copy and paste the keyframes from frame 1, and this will give us 2 full steps. Now at the half second mark of the first step, frame 6 for me, I'm going to lift up the leg which is coming forward to meet the right leg. Then I'm going to do the same thing at the half second mark on the second step, frame 18. This gives us a good 2-step motion for the legs, but we need the body to react a bit. So we are going to make sure that the feet are always flush with the ground reference. For this rig, I'm going to use the crook of the last toe as the marker to line up with the ground, and I'm going to use the root bone to move the rig up and down at each of the half second and full second frames to make sure that her feet are on the ground. This will give her some height variation when she's walking, which is normal for actual real life walking. If you saw someone moving around without their head moving up and down, you'd think they were being weird and sketchy. Now that we have the walk movement down, I'm going to select all the keyframes from frame 6 to 24 and copy and paste them repeatedly into the half frame marks of every other second. Could I just highlight them and turn them into an actual repeating cycle? Shut up. Yes, I don't want to. Okay, now that we have a full walk cycle repeating over and over, I'm actually going to make the character walk across the screen. To do this, I'm going to use the Transform Layer tool, shortcut M, to bring the bone layer aka the character, to one side of the screen just off camera on frame 1. Then I'm going to take our ground reference and shrink it down to be foot width, duplicate it, and change the color, and line it up with the other foot. These are going to be our foot markers so we can keep track of where each planted foot is supposed to be during the walk cycle. This will make the walk look more realistic and not just glide across the screen. I'm going to adjust the markers with each step and then adjust the position of the character via the Transform Layer tool to line up with the respective foot markers. I'm going to repeat this process until our friend is all the way across the screen, and I'm going to keyframe her head to shift from the left side of the screen to the right halfway through the walk as if she's observing us. And there we have it, an alien slow loris shuffling across the screen, looking at us inquisitively. If you want to do your own Dice Doodles, you can download my Dice Doodle map for free from the link in the comments. Have a whack at it and tag me when you post it. I'm at animation.bakery everywhere, or you could tag my personal account at Jeff Baker Draws. If you like this video, hit like and subscribe. I'll be posting a new Dice Doodles video every Friday with new characters as the dice demands, as well as my other animations you can see throughout the week, like the mundane life of John Orkman and the Eldritch Cuties. Have a great week, and may all your rolls be crits.